I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
One live broadcast, 2 words, and the entire world fell silent. ARMY, get ready. What just happened may go down as one of the most monumental moments in BTS history. No announcement, no big banner, just one slow step at the airport, and the world began to shake without warning. Kim Taehyung, or better known as V, has returned to Korea. But unlike other K-pop idols who are usually surrounded by media and camera flashes, V arrived in a way only someone like him could. Quiet, mysterious, yet still captivating. Dressed all in black, wearing a tight face mask, and with a pair of earphones stuck to his ears, he stepped out of the airport's tranquility, like the main character in a movie, silent, yet dominant. What made it even crazier? Just a few hours after his arrival from Japan, after attending Jin's concert and promoting, BTS appeared in a live stream on Weverse. OT7. Complete. This was their first appearance as a unit after completing their mandatory military service. No grand stage, no glamorous lighting, just a simple room filled with laughter, jokes, and warmth that made millions of fans feel finally home. And then V spoke. Next spring. At first glance, it sounded like an ordinary sentence. But for ARMY, it was an explosion, an unfiltered spoiler, a sentence that turned the warm reunion broadcast into a global storm of speculation. RM, sitting beside him, looked startled. The other members laughed, trying to calm the commotion. But the damage was done, and the world had heard it. Taehyung wasn't just coming home. He was bringing a hidden message that sent the entire fandom into a frenzy. Weverse exploded. Twitter turned into a sea of hysteria. Short clips of Taehyung's face spread like a virus. The expression in his eyes, his gentle smile, the way he said those 2 words. It all seemed planned, even though he clearly did it casually. But this is Taehyung. Every move he makes feels like part of a bigger story. The live stream itself was a small miracle. Jin talked about sleep quality post-military service. J-Hope cracked jokes about his new habits. RM tried to guide the conversation with structure. Jungkook smiled more than he spoke. Jimin remained the shining light. But even as everyone shone, the spotlight always returned to one silent point, Taehyung. He didn't need to speak at length, but every sentence that came out of his mouth felt 3 times heavier with emotion. Like when he looked at Jimin and asked, "Are you okay?" Or when he responded to RM with light sarcasm that made the room laugh. But the highlight, of course, next spring. 2 words, a million speculations. And the effect? Unbelievable. The hashtag #TeamIsBack immediately dominated global trending topics. Hundreds of screenshots of his face became aesthetic edits on TikTok and Instagram. Korean and international media were also drawn in. Some outlets even referred to the broadcast as BTS's soft launch comeback thanks to V's unintended leak. But for ARMY, nothing about Taehyung was unintended. What made all of this even more thrilling was how Taehyung managed to steal the spotlight without even trying. He sat quietly, calmly listening, occasionally flashing a smile or gazing at the camera with an indescribable look in his eyes. But that was enough to captivate millions of people. Every second of his presence was recorded. A blink of an eye, a touch of hair, a breath. Fans dissected his expressions as if they were reading a novel with secret messages on every page. That's the power of V. He doesn't need to stand out to dominate the screen. His soft voice, calm demeanor, and the mysterious aura that always surrounds him make him seem like the key to something much bigger. Even when he mentions working in the United States, fans immediately link it to the possibility of a solo project, an album. A film? A major collaboration? One thing is clear, this broadcast isn't just a reunion. It's a powerful reminder that BTS isn't just another group. They're legends preparing for the next chapter, and you might just be sitting in the driver's seat. When the broadcast ended, ARMY couldn't stop talking about it. One comment on Weverse read, "He just looked into the camera and we all know, he's telling us something." Another comment on X reads, "Taehyung isn't spilling the beans, he's dropping hints." And that's even more thrilling. BTS's 2026 comeback hasn't even begun, but the excitement is already palpable. And it all started with 2 words spoken by a man who had just stepped off a plane, sat on a sofa, and decided to make history. However, the reality is that the broadcast was not just about a reunion. For many ARMYs, it was an emotional turning point. It was not just about seeing the faces they missed, but realizing that they were still together. Still one heart. Still one team. And when they sat side by side, there was no doubt that they were preparing something. Taehyung, with his quiet aura and gentle body language, seemed to signal that BTS had never truly left. They had merely stepped aside for a moment, giving the world time to realize how vast the void left by their absence was. And now, they were slowly reclaiming the place that rightfully belonged to them. Next spring, he said, those words didn't just linger in the ears. They pierced the heart. There was hope there. There was a plan. And perhaps there was a promise. ARMY knows that BTS doesn't speak lightly about time. Every word spoken in public has been carefully considered, sometimes even shrouded in codes and hidden meanings. So when Taehyung uttered those words, with eyes fixed on the camera and a calm yet certain tone, the fans immediately realized he was revealing something. That the coming spring is the point where the world will change again, in a way only BTS can do. And ironically, even though RM tried to interrupt and change the topic, his expression couldn't hide the truth. Taehyung had just dropped the biggest spoiler of the year. The ARMY's reaction was extraordinary. They weren't just moved to tears because OT7 was finally back, but they also began formulating theories, analyzing body language, and dissecting every member's choice of words. They watched the broadcast repeatedly, not just to savor the warmth of the reunion, but also to search for clues. Because this is BTS. For true fans, nothing is ever ordinary. Even a faint smile can be a hidden message. And in that broadcast, Taehyung wasn't just present. He was quietly leading the way. And when ARMY started talking about a 2026 comeback, it wasn't just empty speculation. The context was there. The emotion was strong. The visuals were perfect. Taehyung had opened the door, and the world was ready to step through. But if you think it all stops there, you're wrong. What followed was a series of explosions across various platforms. Weverse became a community party, filled with tears and laughter. Twitter turned into an open journal where ARMY shared theories and joy. Instagram was flooded with edits of Taehyung's face, slow-motion expressions, even just moments of him nodding. Taehyung's magnetic power is something that can't be explained logically. He doesn't try to steal the spotlight, yet wherever he is, cameras seem to naturally gravitate toward him. He doesn't speak much, yet everyone listens. He doesn't try to dominate the atmosphere, yet all eyes are on him. And in that broadcast, Taehyung became the center of a global emotional storm. This moment also serves as a stark reminder that Taehyung is not just an idol. He is a cultural icon. Every move he makes can shift the course of global conversation. Even when he sits quietly, ARMY pours millions of emotions into him. And it's not without reason. Taehyung has built an emotional connection with his fans that transcends music and screens. He is like a reflection of hope, calmness, and quiet strength. We're talking about someone who, in one sentence, can shift the emotional landscape of a global fandom. And if we look back a bit, this isn't the first time Taehyung has frozen the world with just words. From I Purple You, which has become a universal symbol of love among ARMY, to his small comments that always carry deep meaning, Taehyung is known as someone who rarely speaks but always makes an impact. But more important than all that is the feeling brought by the broadcast. The feeling that BTS is still intact, that their love for one another is still strong, and that whatever they're preparing will be worth more than just music. Because BTS isn't just a K-pop group, they're a cultural phenomenon. And Taehyung, with all his aura and calmness, might just be the heartbeat of this new revival. K-pop News will continue to follow the developments of this comeback. Don't forget to enable notifications so you don't miss the latest updates about BTS, Taehyung, and the spring that is said to change everything.
Is everybody